I'm really excited about today's video because it is probably my favorite ingredient in skincare, and that is vitamin A. Now, you may know it as retinol or retin-A or tretinoin. At the end of the day, this is the true superpower of skincare. Vitamin A is the most effective ingredient that you can get for acne and for anti-aging. It is the gold standard. Not only can it fight severe acne, and that's really why it was developed. It was created and researched specifically for people with bad acne. And they found out through clinical trials and many years of usage that it had a whole host of other benefits that really didn't have anything to do with acne at all. And that was in the anti-aging category. So what it does is it helps to speed up cell turnover. And our skin is doing that every day anyway. We tend to turn over new cells about every 30 days, and this sort of helps accelerate that process. So when we might have scarring or severe acne or all sorts of problems on the surface of our skin, this is helping to rejuvenate and to basically bring out those new layers of fine, fabulous skin. And in addition to that, it also helps with hyperpigmentation, so it can help reduce those skin spots that you might get from sun exposure. It helps reduce fine lines and wrinkles. It builds collagen and makes our skin thicker. And that's one of the really big bonuses to this, because we have naturally occurring collagen in our system that slowly depletes over time. Like from your 20s, it starts to go downhill. And every decade you're losing more and more collagen, so it helps to rebuild that. And it also helps to hold on to the collagen that's there. So what happens is, not only can it help at sort of reversing the signs of aging, it can help to prevent them. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, as the earlier you start on this train, the better off you're going to be in the long run. So there's a lot of words and confusing terms that are used, and essentially there is an umbrella of all vitamin A products, and those are retinoids. So whether it is tretinoin or retinol, wherever it fits, that is all within that umbrella of products. And they're given different names based on basically how well they perform. And sometimes they're used interchangeably, and they really shouldn't be. So I'm going to try to, break it down a little bit here today. So I'm going to start with the most effective, and that is retinoic acid. That is the prescription strength that you get from the doctor, and it is called tretinoin. And that is the heavy hitter Mac Daddy of them all. And the reason it's so strong is that it's bioactive and essentially your skin, bioavailable to your skin. And that means that your skin just starts using it straight away. You put it on, it knows what to do, it starts to get working. And that's why it needs to be done by prescription, because it's strong. And with that comes sort of exposures or side effects or risks. And for the most part, it's irritation, and your skin can react negatively to it if you don't use it properly, you're not using it the right amount, and that's where the doctor's sort of guidance comes into that. It comes in varying strengths. Usually it comes in a 0.025, a 0.05, and a 0.1, and that 0.1 is pretty darn strong. So ordinarily they'll start you off sort of on that lower category and see how you tolerate and move up into the higher percentages, if that's right for you and your goals and your skin. Now, sort of one step down from that would be what's known as different. It's also by prescription here in the UK and Ireland. However, in the States, it's not by prescription. So you can walk into the drugstore, Walgreens, CVS, whatever, and you can buy it. And it's not that expensive. It might be about 25, 30 bucks. And it's a good way to start in the US if you're living there. It is really good and is often prescribed for those with acne. So it seems to be really good for fighting that particular type of problem. But it is a good place to start. Over here, you're monitored by doctors, and it's generally the first prescription that you would get here. So they'll start you off with the different, and if you tolerate that well and you decide that's what your goals are, whether it's acne or anti-aging, working with your doctor, they can accelerate that to tretinoin. So those are kind of the prescription and the strongest ones that you can get. Those are the Mac Daddies. And then you start to go down a level into all of the other products that you can buy over the counter, and they're really considered to be part of a cosmetic range. And there's some really good products out there that work, but they're going to be softer, they're going to be easier, and they're going to be more tolerant for your skin. The first one is called retinaldehyde. You may already be using this and don't even know it. So it would be sort of the strongest that you can get over the counter or in the cosmetics and skincare that you can get at the drugstore or the high street or any of those kind of places. Now, it is one conversion away from retinoic acid. So when you put this on your skin, it soaks in, does its job, and down at a cellular level, that then converts to retinoic acid, which is the tretinoin that we discussed earlier. So this will be more tolerable than the previous prescription only, but it'll still give you a lot of bang for your buck. It's probably about 10 times weaker than tretinoin, say. So that gives you kind of an idea of where that sits. There are some fantastic products out there. Medicate is a great range. Aven makes good products, and so does Paula's Choice. And this is particularly good for acne-prone skin because it's really working to control the oil production. So oftentimes it's recommended for people with those particular problems. And they generally offer strengths of about a 0.05 to a 1%. Okay. The next in line is retinol, and that's probably the most commonly talked about, read about, and seen in the products that you can buy on the high street. This is 2 conversion levels away from tretinoin. So down at the cellular level, it's not 1, it's 2. And it's probably the easiest and most tolerable for most people. It's the most commonly used. And they say that the sweet spot for people with sensitive skin is about the 0.3%, because it's still going to give you those really good benefits for the skin without the irritation. It's really good for anti-aging, and there are loads of really, really good products out there. So it's a good sort of easy way if you're a little worried about it or a little apprehensive. It's a good place to start and see how your skin goes. And you can always move up the ladder. It's definitely better to start slow. Slow and easy is the way to go, and then build as your skin tolerates and you find that you're starting to reap those benefits. Then the next level down are retinol esters. And these are like retinol palpitate, and these have 3 conversions to go. So we're a long way away from tretinoin land at this stage, but you're still going to get those added benefits. So if, again, you're still nervous even more, and you have highly sensitive skin, this might be a good entry-level place. So you can do Google searches for products with, and you can fill in the blank of the words that you're looking for or that particular vitamin A derivative, and find the ones that are most suitable for your skin. Now, my own journey was unique. I didn't look at any of this below tretinoin. I went straight in for the Mac Daddy because I was about 42, I think 41 maybe, when I started this process, and I didn't see any point in mucking around. I went straight to the doctor and said, this is what I'm trying to do. So I got a prescription for tretinoin 0.05, so right in the middle of strengths for those, for the tretinoin, and I went swimmingly, but I did it slowly. I started with a Sunday. For the first month, I did it once a week. For the second month, I added the Wednesday, so it's 2 days a week for the second month. I added a third day in the third month. So it took me 7 months to be using this product every single day. Not a bother. I had no problems, no dryness, no scaling, no purging, no nothing. So it was a dream. And I stayed on that percentage for about 3 or 4 years. And then I wanted to move up a percentage, and I hadn't quite gotten there, but I was actually away. I was in Portugal, in Lisbon, for a conference. And I bought some over-the-counter tretinoin while I was there, because there are a number of countries where it is readily available over the counter. You can walk into the chemist and say, I want tretinoin 0.5%. So I think, say Portugal, Spain, Mexico, there are probably some other places. Well, it was a big mistake because for whatever reason, the formulation really shouldn't have been any different. I started to peel, and I started to peel right around here, and it was incessant, and I couldn't get it to stop. Didn't matter what I did, I did peel back on it, and I stopped using it as frequently, but I never got rid of it out of my routine. And for whatever reason, my skin just didn't like it. And that's when I realized I should only be doing it under a doctor's orders. And I stopped completely. And for a year, I didn't use any vitamin A products at all. That's sad. And after about a year, I said, okay, I'm going to start this again. But I started with over-the-counter, and I went with the retinol, and I went with the lower, just to try to get my skin used to it again. And so I did that for about a year. And then, about 3 months ago, I guess, I started using these guys. And this is Dermatica. And if you live in the UK or in the US, the service is available. And it is a prescription monthly mail service. And you fill out information online, and dermatologists and pharmacists formulate something specifically for your skin. So I started off with the 0.05, and they sent me the 0.025 first, and I immediately went, that's too low for me. My stuff that I'm getting over the counter was stronger. They immediately put me up to a 0.05, and then I've just gone up to a 0.1. So that's the highest percentage I could go. And that's mixed with a 4% hydroquinone, which helps for brightening the skin, because I have a couple of just, brown spots from pigmentation from not using SPF when I was a kid. So this is working a treat. Now I've started to slowly introduce the 1%. I'm using this once a week, and I'm still using my 0.5, and eventually I will do the same thing, and I will be on this every single day. Great service, highly recommend it. Brilliant product. So the main thing is if you start to feel or experience any of the side effects, which would be peeling, the purging, and the key is just to back off a little bit and step it back. Not get rid of it completely, but maybe go back to once a week or maybe twice a week, that sort of thing. And the way that I apply this, certainly if you start, would be a bit different than how I do it now. But if you're just starting using a retinol product, the main thing to do is to start with clean skin. I do my double cleanse at the end of the evening, and then the key is to wait 10 or 15 minutes, maybe even 30. You need to have dry skin, because tretinoin does not play nicely with damp skin. It will irritate, okay? So once your skin is nice and dry, then I put a few dots around my face. Now, I personally do neck and chest. It's recommended that you don't start there, just because you need to see how tolerable your skin is. Your face skin is a lot thicker than the skin you have here. So I do put it all over and I rub it in. The things you need to be mindful of and stay away from: the corners of the eyes, the corners of the nose, the corners of the mouth. So I'm very gentle when I'm trying to put it here, because you know, people maybe have a few line wrinkles forming. I still put it in this area. I just stay away from the corners, because that's where you start to really see the potential for flakiness and dryness and peeling. Do not mix this with acids. So I do my vitamin C's, my exfoliating AHAs or BHAs in the morning, and I do this at the evening, because those don't play nicely together either. This is not a get quick fix kind of a thing. This is a long game, and you should introduce this and consider this a way as investing in your skin and its long-term future. It's the type of thing that's slow and steady. You won't see results in a few weeks. You may see in a few months, and you will definitely see in a few years. Now, I wish I had taken before photos, but I never anticipated having a YouTube channel and a need to do this. So I've taken them now, and I will report back maybe in 6, 9, 12 months just to see how that's going. But it's something that you just kind of have to commit to and go in for the long term, because it will work. I've had a lot of people ask, when do you start using retinoids? And the answer is yesterday. It is never too early, and I wish I had started this a very long time ago. I think the rule of thumb is if you're in your 20s, you use it twice a week, and if you're in your 30s, 3 times a week, and so on. By the time I was in my 40s, by early 40s, you'd want to be using it every day, and maybe even late 30s, just on a much lower formulation and a lower percentage, because this has preventative capabilities. It's not just now I'm about correcting what's happened. This will prevent what could happen. So it can slow down the production of wrinkles. It can hold on to your collagen longer, which keeps your face plumper, and it keeps your face stronger. So all the things I wish I had done in my 20s and 30s, you could do now. Never too early. Okay, here's the biggie. If you are going to use these products, you have to use an SPF. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I say that anyway, and I do mean that anyway. You should always have an SPF 30 at least. But in this instance, I'm not kidding, because you could really do some damage to your skin, because what we're doing is starting to reveal new skin. And that is incredibly susceptible to the sun. So you could be doing great efforts to take care of your skin and to help regenerate it and give it a whole bunch of good stuff, and then ruin it by going out into the sun and not protecting it. So wear SPF. Wear SPF. Wear SPF. So that's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this. This is just my favorite ingredient. Everybody should have this in their skincare routine. Speaking of skincare routines, if you're interested in my very long and fabulous skincare routine, I will put a link to it here. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love if you'd subscribe. And if you'd like to see more videos, maybe put some notes down below of things you might be interested in seeing, talking more about. Give me some feedback. What products are you using? What are you having trouble with? This is just a learning journey for me too, and I love trying out new things. I'm not going to give this puppy up though. That's all I have to say. This isn't going anywhere. This will be in my skincare routine for as long as somebody will give it to me. Thanks so much for joining, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye.
You hidden behind the cup there.